Guys, relationships and partnerships are the theme today as both Venus and Mars are being activated energetically. We may experience some eruptions or some upheavals in relationships as the universe is really trying to shake us out of anything that is keeping us from being able to see and perceive the true inner nature of our genuine value and self-worth. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. My name is Aubrey. Today is Wednesday, August 25th, 2021, and this is your astrological outlook for the day. Oh, so we have some very interesting energetics that we're navigating today, but again, I want to start by talking about the position of the sun and the earth today because they are saying a lot, and then I will talk about these relationship themes that are coming up in the energetics as well. So today we have the sun at 3 degrees of Virgo, we have the earth at 3 degrees of Pisces, always in an exact opposition to the sun, and I'm going to talk about the sabian symbols of these degree placements for today. For those of you who don't know or who are new to my channel, the sabian symbols are a group of symbols that represent each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac, and whenever a planet is at a specific degree, we can look to the sabian symbol and it helps us gain a better understanding of the underlying dynamic, the nature of how that energetic is working and why in the context of the unfolding astrological story that is what makes our reality work, okay? So I like to look at the sabian symbols because they just give us more information about what is actually going on and the purpose of the energetics. And today, like I said, we have the sun at 3 degrees of Virgo, and that sabian symbol is 2 guardian angels bringing protection. So we know that there is divine intervention and there is divine assistance and divine protection going on today for all of us. And there are 2 of them. So this is speaking to duplicities, okay? And then we have the degree of the earth, 3 degrees of Pisces, like I said, in exact opposition always to the position of the sun. And this degree is a petrified forest. How I'm feeling about this in the context of what we have going on generally and the way that the energetics have been unfolding is I feel like today there is a push to try and solidify a state of fear that has been ongoing and to really imprint it into the collective consciousness today. But the position of the sun is telling us that we are all divinely guided and divinely protected ×2 by these guardian angels that are present to help us in all that's going on. So once again today, just like yesterday, just like what has been building, the energies that have been building and that were present last week, there is just this aspect of divine assistance that is present, that is coming in, and the stars are talking about it. So regardless of what's going on, regardless of what's happening, we need to rest assured in our faith that we are protected and that things are unfolding as they need to in order so that this grand rectification can occur. And, you know, sometimes in order for people to, experience is the best teacher. And I feel like a lot of what we're going through right now is very difficult circumstances, a lot of fear, and a lot of uncertainty that is actually really pushing us to wake up, to see what's going on, and to change our perspective, change our mind, and come back to that place of authenticity where we are all being called to align so that we can move forward into the age of Aquarius and really begin the process of rectifying individually and collectively all that has gotten so off track over this past age of Pisces that we are coming out of right now. So regardless of what is going on and what we're experiencing, I really wanted to start by saying that the sun is talking about 2 guardian angels offering protection today. And, you know, I wrote potential of a petrified or frozen state of things, trying to set things in stone and freeze things how they are, preventing progress and growth. But we have 2 guardian angels bringing protection. And again, God is pulling the strings with this today. So regardless of the struggles that we may be facing, the bottom line is that there is divine assistance, divine protection, and all we need to do is align with it and surrender to it, and we are going to be just fine, okay? Now, let's get into talking about this Venus and Mars action that we have going on today. We have the moon in Aries today in a conjunction with Chiron and in an opposition to Venus in Libra. Aries is ruled by Mars, and so that brings Mars into it, and the opposition to Libra today, where Venus is, brings Venus into it as well. Chiron is the wounded healer, teacher, master archetype. Chiron brings us through very painful, very traumatic, wounding experiences so that we can learn from them, overcome them, come into a place of mastery, and then be a guide for others going down the same path. And over time, this helps us collectively to overcome trauma, to overcome our collective trauma. As humans, we are at this point a very traumatized species generally, and Chiron is a very important theme right now, always. But the Chiron energy, the Chiron archetype is working very hard right now to show us our wounding, put it right into our face so that we are forced in a position to learn about it, to heal it, to overcome it, to master it, and then to show other people how to do that as well. And this is a very integral part of coming back into that inner integration, coming back into our own power internally, becoming the masters of our own experience, and being able to go forth and create our reality from that place of self-knowledge, self-empowerment, and self-mastery, which are all the themes of the Aquarian archetype, of the age of Aquarius. And today, this is being activated, and it might cause some serious things to surface in relationships. Mars today is at 17 degrees of Virgo for this moon conjunction to Chiron in Aries and opposition to Venus in Libra. 17 degrees of Virgo, the Sabian symbol of that is a volcanic eruption. At 17 degrees of Virgo, Mars is still in a very close trine to Uranus, now retrograde in Taurus. So the way I'm reading this is, first of all, like I said, the energy today, it's just all about these themes of partnerships, relationships, contractual agreements, and also finances with Venus in Libra can be coming up as well. Potential for explosions or eruptions in relationships and partnerships today as deep wounds, Chiron, and feelings of inadequacy, moon opposite Venus, conjunct Chiron, are triggered for the purpose of helping us to heal and transcend these things. And I really feel like the purpose of this, with Mars still in the trine to Uranus, is, like I said in the beginning, to really help us be liberated from any relationships, circumstances, partnerships in our lives that have been keeping us from being able to perceive and to see and to align with our true inner value, our true authentic value, our true self-worth, our true self-love. Because when we are unaware of the value that we hold inside of us, it allows us to be, it diminishes our power, and it allows us to be controlled and to be manipulated and to feel like we need to surrender our power to less than what we're worth, to situations that are not adequate to what we actually are deserving of, because we don't realize what we're truly worth inside. And that can get us, like I said, into these relationships and these circumstances that are not benefiting us and that are not promoting our growth and that are not truly in alignment with us, because we are not in alignment with our own self-worth and our own self-value. And I think that that is what this aspect today is trying to help us rectify as we move through these energetics, as we move through this saga, as we transcend into the age of Aquarius and are all trying to come back into our truth, into our authenticity, into what is in our own personal, unique, creative self-expression that we can use to create successful and abundant and beautiful and harmonious and peaceful lives, all of the Venus things. Universe is showing us our wounds today. Universe is triggering our wounds today. And universe is, with Mars at a volcanic eruption, potentially causing some serious eruptions in these relationships and in these partnerships and in these relationship dynamics that are keeping us from truly aligning with our authentic self-worth, self-value, and keeping us out of the situations that are aligned with what we actually deserve based on the nature of our genuine heart at this point in time. And this is an important part of the process because relationships, everything is being realigned right now in a way that allows us to be liberated to come back into our truth, our authenticity, our personal creative self-expression, the inner integration of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and our true self-empowerment, which is really what we need to be and where we need to be standing and how we need to be vibing in order to truly make this transcendence into the age of Aquarius actualize and happen and manifest. And we are like taking baby steps right now. And the energetics today are trying to teach us and show us through our wounding, through our pain, what changes need to happen in order so that we can come back to that place. So I feel like these are significant, and I just want to let everyone know, you know, in relationships, in these partnerships, there may be some very disruptive, eruptive, explosive dynamic events and changes going on for this purpose. I wrote, with Mars and trine to Uranus, these eruptions are for the purpose of ultimately righting things, rectifying things, and bringing healing, balance, and harmony. Okay? Right now, you guys, with the black moon in Gemini, and I've been talking about this quite a bit lately because the degrees of the black moon that it has been discharging in conjunction with, we had a Mercury Neptune opposition this week, and there's just a big call right now to try to divide people based on their understandings of things, based on their beliefs, and based on the way that their mind can be controlled and manipulated, and actually cause, through this division and through this like mind control sort of, and these like this dichotomy and understanding, a definite split in the collective. And it's very oppositional to what really needs to be happening right now, because right now the collective really needs to be coming together and solidifying as a human family. As we move into the age of Aquarius, Aquarius rules humanity, and there's a huge split right now in terms of people's perceptions of reality generally. And with the Earth today at that degree, a petrified forest, I also think that this split, this dichotomy, this schism is really what the, the influences behind the projections are trying to solidify today with the degree of the petrified forest. And, we still are having the Mercury in opposition to Neptune. It is not exact anymore, and actually we have more Mercury energy that's going to be coming exact tomorrow that I'll talk about in a little bit. But the consciousness, the psyche, the mind is very susceptible to manipulation, to hypnosis, to illusion, and to mind control really right now. And it seems as though under these energetics there's a push to imprint that, to petrify it, to solidify it, so that that is the state and that is the projection and that is the creation going forward. And we have two guardian angels bringing protection against it though, so just something to be aware of. But with these relationship eruptions that may be happening today, this is trying to shake us out of that. But also simultaneously, it may be contributing to more of a split. There's so many polarities and so many different ways that these energetics can be used right now. And it's just very important that we are all tuning into our gut, tuning into our intuition, and not allowing our minds to be manipulated or controlled by any type of external information sources, thought leaders, or media narratives that are being pushed right now. We do not want to be taking action right now based on external influences exerting their messaging upon us. Any actions that we're taking right now need to come from an internal gut instinct that is necessary to put our own personal lives back into alignment with Mars in a trine to Uranus retrograde right now. We are all being aligned internally now with Uranus retrograde with what is right and what is authentic and what is true for us. And, you know, this could also be playing into a lot of the anxieties and a lot of the nervous energy. There's a lot of nervous, tense energy that's going on right now, especially with all of these planets in Virgo and Uranus retrograde and the aspects that Mercury has been making. And we really all need to try to stay very grounded in what is true and right for us. And the best way that we can help other people right now is to do our best to inspire people into embracing their own greatness, their own authenticity, their own truth, and not trying to push our versions of truth on other people. Because right now, I feel like that has a greater potential and a greater opportunity to actually cause a more solidified divide when we really, at this point in time, need to be coming together and doing what you can to inspire people into standing in their own power and accepting their own value and activating their own internal greatness is really the direction that we need to be using our mental energy for at this point in time right now when we're communicating with other people, because there is just so much schism and dichotomy and separation that's going on in terms of the way that people are thinking and perceiving reality at the moment. And this is also, of course, playing into these relationship issues, these relationship eruptions. Universe is trying to align us with our real tribe, you guys. Universe is trying to bring us to our soul family and the people who are aligned with us internally on that authentic, deep level, because that is who we're going to be creating with and building with and aligning with going forward. And we also are having to let a lot of things go right now, but we really need to try our best to, regardless of what happens, regardless of what our experiences are, to practice forgiveness and to really align with love in our hearts and not be in states of resentment or, hatred or guilt or any type of negative feelings. Like, we really need to, if someone does not agree with us, we still need to bless them on their way, and just realize that if relationships are exiting our lives right now, it is because neither person is going to be benefiting or growing or aligning with their authentic truth in that dynamic. And even though they might be painful, even though it might be scary, even though it might be difficult, we need to surrender to these realignments, and we need to not resist them and fight against them, because new and better and much more aligned relationships will come in that will be more fulfilling, more long-lasting, more enduring, and more productive to each and every one of us in all of our lives going forward. But it's the time to let go, and it's the time to forgive and to release and to be okay with it and to not fight it and to not resist against it, because Uranus is driving these changes. Uranus retrograde is driving these changes. Uranus puts things right. Uranus rules Aquarius. We're moving into the age of Aquarius. Uranus is one of the most active planets of all this year, and Uranus is doing what needs to be done to shake things up, to throw them up in the air, and to realign them in a way that is more conducive to a much more successful journey into the age of Aquarius and putting things right the way that they need to be. So we need to keep that in mind. Another thing that we have going on today, and this is actually going to be coming exact tomorrow, is we have Mercury, who was just in an opposition to Neptune yesterday, coming into a trine with Pluto retrograde tomorrow. And this is a very different energy than Neptune in Mercury, okay? Pluto in Mercury is all about like a deep and penetrating mind and thoughts and the ability to perceive into the darkness and to discover what's been hidden. mental transformations, healing on like a very deep level of our psyche, and understanding, an ability to perceive and to understand and to see in the darkness and to see what's under the surface. This is very secrets revealed energy that we're moving into. And it's interesting because this is following right on the heels of the Neptune opposition to Mercury that we had, where the projection, the media has been very empowered to sort of spin things and to project illusions for the purpose of trying to regain power and control that has started to slip away with the Mars-Mercury conjunction last week and Uranus going retrograde and the super blue full moon that we had in Aquarius that was really breaking the chains and calling us all into liberation and standing up for ourselves and speaking our minds and stepping into our power. Well, this week there has been a definite push to clamp down on that, to strangle that out and to regain what was lost in terms of control of the narrative with those energetics last week. And I was saying on my video that I did on Monday that there's an aspect to this Mercury-Neptune opposition that it was almost like a double-edged sword. It was almost like the attempts to delude and to misinform and to create illusions and fantasies and color reality through those lenses had a flip side where it's like it almost in some type of way pushed people to see what was really going on. It's almost like just too much at this point in time that it's actually having the contradictory effect and starting to wake people up. And I feel like it's very interesting now that the 2 days after that happens, we have Mercury moving now into a trine, which remember is an aspect of ease. Things just happen. It facilitates things. It assists things with Pluto. So it's, I really almost feel like this very penetrating insight that we have right now and looking for answers really from the depths, looking behind the curtain, looking under the scenes of things and seeing in the darkness, being able to see the secret motives, the things that have gone on behind the scenes. It's almost like it was spurred on by this mass attempt to delude. It's almost like it's backfiring with this. And I'll talk more about this aspect tomorrow when it's exact. But that's another thing that we have going on. The mind with the trine to Pluto and Pluto retrograde, it's really trying to bring us to a place, honestly, of personal power, but from the mental sphere, like give us the understanding that we need to step back into our power, which is exactly what was happening last week. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out, but humanity in our individual lives and collectively going into tomorrow is going to begin discovering secrets with Mercury in a trine to Pluto retrograde. And these secrets are going to be empowering us. And it's interesting because for the full moon that we had, that super full moon, the blue moon, the sun was at 30 degrees of Leo, an unsealed letter containing vital and confidential information. And the earth was at moonlit fields, and the moon and the earth were at moonlit fields once Babylon are blooming white. So that whole moon was about bringing us some vital and confidential information that would restore peace and balance and healing and bring back to life what once was chaos and destruction and the inversion of truth and light and love and all of those things. And now we have, after the mass push for this delusion, this illusion, this fantasizing, this misconstruing of reality, now we have Mercury coming into a trine with Pluto that is really going to be helping us to see what's been going on behind the scenes of things. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this week unfolds. But really today, it's all about these relationship dynamics and universe really trying to shake us out of things that and relationships that have been keeping us from aligning with that inner true value, with the inner self-worth, that have been keeping us blind to the value that we really genuinely hold inside, and through the process of not recognizing our value, we can't ever have relationships or partnerships or life circumstances that reflect that value. Those things will always reflect the value that we perceive subconsciously inside of us. And again, it's like these delusions and these illusions and this push to sort of mesmerize and keep in a state of stasis that prevents us from moving forward is also being indicated through this moon with Chiron today in opposition to Venus, while Mars is at the volcanic eruption degree. It's like our wounds are being brought up to us today and being triggered and being shown to us for the purpose of getting us out of these situations, regardless of the fantasy that is being projected to us. It's almost like the counterbalance to the Mercury Neptune that we've been dealing with. It's like we can't be really hypnotized by it because we're looking at our wounds alongside of it today, and we're feeling the pain of it, and we're feeling the lack of alignment, the opposition with what we know we truly have inside of us consciously. We just need to get it incorporated into our subconscious mind and also our superconscious mind. Remember, just the other day, Venus was at the degree of 3 old masters hanging in a special room of an art gallery. And Venus was talking about the need to reintegrate our mind, our body, and our spirit, and also our subconscious, our conscious, and our superconscious minds in order to come back to that place of internal value, internal truth, self-love, self-worth. And now we have this aspect today in opposition to Chiron in Aries, ruled by Mars. Mars and Venus are definitely both being indicated with this today. And remember, Mars and Venus right now are actually on a journey to come into an exact conjunction together with Pluto in March of 2022. And when this process is complete, this will really be doing a lot to reintegrate the divine feminine and the divine masculine within us and bring us back into our power so that we can truly become the creators and the masters of our lives going forward in this whole true Age of Aquarian natured theme. And this aspect today, I really do feel like is part of that process. And so, Mars is working today to blow up situations out of alignment with the authentic nature of our heart, what we truly need, and to rectify relationships and partnerships in alignment with our authentic value. And it wants to bring the relationships we truly need and deserve to restore balance and to help us understand our true value and self-worth so we can be empowered to create the authentic and genuine love and beauty and abundance in our lives. And this is being triggered and brought up through our wounds and through emotionally knowing where we're at right now, and our relationships are out of alignment with what we truly hold inside and what we feel like we actually deserve and what we actually do deserve and what we need. So we have that going on. Healing and overcoming issues that have kept us in relationships that are not aligned with what is really in our heart and that have been preventing us from seeing our true inner value and aligning with that. That is the theme today. That is the lesson today. That is the energetic today. That is the experience today. So if you're dealing with any of these things, just understand there are 2 guardian angels here to protect us today from being solidified in the place that we've been in and that is not conducive to our progress down this path that we are going now. So that's really what I have today, you guys. All about relationships, all about Venus and Mars. We're going to be finding out some secrets this week going forward. I think that the end of this week is going to have a much different vibe than what we started with. And it's really just all about trying to show us our wounds so that we can heal them, we can master them, we can grow through them, we can overcome them, and we can really begin to realign with what we truly deserve at this point in time and what is righteous and balanced in terms of the authentic nature of our heart and our soul and our spirit. So that's what I have for my report for today, guys. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can help you navigate these energetics today. Any relationship issues that do surface, just realize that they're coming up because the situation is preventing you from coming into your own personal, authentic greatness and having your life and your relationships and your circumstances reflect that. So that's just what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Any questions that you guys have about astrology, anything, leave them in the comment section of my video. Very soon I'm going to be making a video answering astrology questions for you guys. Ask me anything about astrology and I'm going to try to do my best to answer your questions and help teach so that everyone can understand this information as well. I have a Facebook group and a Facebook page if you're interested in that as well. And come back tomorrow with me, you guys, so we can continue this journey through the story of the energetics that are unfolding and helping to carry us all into the age of Aquarius. Thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.